Umbrella Academy came to us in 2019 and absolutely stole my heart, delighted me to all ends, and now we have Season 3 coming out soon! I got to check it out early, and I cannot express enough how perfect this season is, and how it just makes you look at the entire show of Umbrella Academy, and it just makes you go, this is a damn perfect show. What's going on, buddy? Welcome back to a brand new TV review. Today we're going to be discussing Netflix's brand new season of Umbrella Academy. This is Season 3! And after putting a stop to 1963's Doomsday, the Umbrella Academy return home to the present, convinced that they prevented the initial apocalypse and fixed their godforsaken timeline once and for all, but after a brief moment of celebration, they realized things aren't exactly okay. We came out of Season 2 with this big hiccup, this big reveal of Sparrow Academy, and that's something that I love about Umbrella Academy, is each season ends in a way where it concludes everything that happened in there, but leaves just enough where you're like, damn it, I need that next season. And Season 3, not gonna lie, does the exact same thing. Now, this will be a non-spoiler review. I will be giving pretty much just my vague overall reaction and my entire thoughts for this entire season without diving into many spoilers, but I do want to hear your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section, so make sure to leave that comment down there, as well as hit that like and subscribe button so we can keep talking movies and TV over here on a daily basis. It's my favorite thing to do, and I definitely want to have you along for the ride. So let's start diving into my pros, and with Umbrella Academy Season 3, like I said, coming off last season's cliffhanger, I was like, I need to see what's going to happen next. And what happens next is surely a lot. They caused this wreck. There's more than just the Sparrow Academy that they have caused here. And all the sorts of things that lead into the possibilities of why this is going on all tie back into Season 2, specifically one character that does appear in here that I'm not going to talk about in case you do not know. But that character for me was so important to this and so integral that it added a lot of layers to all of our overall characters, and it was one that I was specifically very unique by, because as the season kicks off, you go into this awesome opening sequence that I cannot express enough, showing off all the different powers of the Sparrow Academy and how that kind of goes, and then this giant fight scene between them and the Umbrella Academy. And there's even this weird hallucination that Diego gets in the beginning of this episode that is just so joyful and fun. But this opening sequence just starts off what you know is going to be another special season of this show, because every time I've watched this show, I just go, this is a very special show, because every episode always adds something unique and different from what exactly was set up in Season 1 to Season 2 and now even Season 3. This show is wacky and weird, and honestly to God should not even work, but it does, because of a smaller couple reasons that really much struck out to me in Season 3. As big and as grand as this season can be, and as many different things that are going on in this, and seriously, the end of the world situation in here is mind-blowing, especially when you start to come down with all the paradox stuff when it comes down to time travel and how this may happen, how that may happen. The thing I love about Umbrella Academy is how it always centers and always comes around to our main 7, well technically 6, but 7 characters now. And these 7 characters that we really dive into, they truly look at each and every one and give a certain point of view. This is the one show where I would say every character gets something to do. And every season it's been like this, specifically Season 2 and now this one. Season 1 pretty much overall gave everyone, but every arc, every storyline, while maybe at one point you're like, I don't like where this person's going, the next minute, the next episode, you might be like, okay, I see where this is going. Oh, I see where this is probably going to go. No, it changes. And that's what makes this show special. And it really comes down to the smaller moments in between characters that we love, and that we just want them to end up happy. There are certain episodes in here. There's one episode actually in particular where the characters, to a certain extent, just accept life sucks. Let's just live with what we have right now. And that small episode, I think it was the shortest of the entire season towards the back half, was probably one of my favorites, because it really much was just them hanging out and living their lives. And that's what I want. I want these characters that I challenge, I want to be there for them, I want to support them, I want these characters to end up happy. And the fact that I'm that intertwined with all these characters getting that happy ending, that's what makes me love Umbrella Academy. All this apocalyptic stuff can be going on, but if you don't have characters that you love, you don't care about what is going on, or if they're going to survive, or if they're going to be able to save the world. It's elements like that that make this show so damn important. That's where I do want to discuss and go through each and every one of the characters and how I feel about them. Now let's talk about Elliot Page, who has one of the biggest transformations in this season. A lot of us know that he is going to Vanya to Victor, and that is a storyline, and I was interested to see how they were going to weave it into this, because again, now just looking at Umbrella Academy, not just the smaller stuff, but this is a very diverse show, and it's always been from the very start, and I love how the show actually handled this. Now, I've been told that I'm not allowed to talk about the specifics around that, but the way that it interjects and actually changes some of the family dynamics made for a very interesting perspective, and I think has a lot to say, and I love how the show just did it. Like, it didn't just, like, jump into this and there was really no explanation. No, they actually touched on it and honed into, I feel like some people are going to be able to look at this and be like, well, that's how I feel. That's how I am. And maybe eventually even come out to their parents or family or friends. And that's something that, again, I think is important to represent in this show. And Elliot Page just continues to give phenomenal performances. And I love how he really killed it in here. There are some amazing moments, especially with one character in particular that I'm not going to be talking about because I do think it is a spoiler, but that character is very important to Victor's storyline, as well as Allison's. Now let's talk about Emmy Raver Lampman, who I think is one of the big hearts of this all, and her character, coming out of season 2, she goes through something in here after, you know, she gets a husband, she gets a daughter, and she has to leave. And coming into here, that loss that she feels, the depth, where that goes, and how the paradox might have changed her life now forever, is truly heartbreaking. And she was a character for a long time that I was a little bit not feeling completely her storyline till the final episode, where I think it made me look back and completely pay off everything that was going on. But her performance, once again, is incredible. Also, Tom Looper as Luther. I love Luther. He is, again, one of the hearts of this entire story, and he has a great relationship when it comes down to one of the characters in the Sparrow Academy, which I just thought was charming and delightful, and really just, there's certain characters in here who go, the Sparrows should not be our enemies, and Luther is one of them, and I love how he's always had this heart on him. And again, there is that PTSD that they handle with their father because of what he had done to them. And again, all the characters, specifically Luther, especially with what had happened with him on the moon, there's a lot of depth in there that they actually dive into within the season, and I was quite impressed with that. Which then, of course, brings me to Robert Sheehan, who plays Klaus, and I loved Klaus. I love what he got to do this season, especially some new things we start to learn about with his power sets. Aiden Gallagher as number 5 still continues to be my favorite character of the entire show. I just love 5 and his little shit stick attitude that he has to this. Justin H.M. Ben, I love Ben, and this is very much a different Ben than we've ever seen, because now he's a part of the Sparrows, as we saw in season 2, which was great. And again, the Sparrows themselves are all so great. Some get a little bit more to do than others, but each and every one specifically has that moment where you're like, that's awesome, I want to know more about that person, or shit, that thing was cool they just did, I want to know more about that thing. And I love that. I love learning about the Sparrows, and I think they become some of the more interesting characters this season as well. And the fact that they were able to integrally interject them into a story that already has 6 to 7 main characters, that's a lot to do, because some shows do not know how to handle that, which specifically, if we're comparing to The Boys, of course, I really like The Boys. I think The Boys is an awesome show, but now in season 3, I've always felt that a lot of these characters, there's so many of them, they don't exactly know what to do with them. Same with Stranger Things. Umbrella Academy at least knows how to interject and intersect a storyline into each one that makes them interesting. My favorite character from the last season, who now, of course, has a relationship in this season with Diego, played by David Castaneda, is Ritu Araya, plays Lila Pitts. And I love Diego and Lila together. They were my favorite aspect of season 2, and in this season, they really come to play. And Lila has a lot of depth to her as well, as specifically as the person that she is. Once again, what makes Umbrella Academy season 3 so great isn't the end of the world stuff, isn't the superhero aspect, isn't even the entire action scenes. They're fun. All of that other stuff is great. But the thing that makes this show perfect and amazing is our characters. And Lila is a character that specifically has one scene in this whole entire season that makes you just go, I can relate to you. And you can relate to each and every one of these characters in some way, shape, and form. You're going to be able to walk away from the show and feel like, yes, that is me. Because Lila goes through a lot of torture and trauma in here, and exactly what is going on in her storyline is something that adds a lot to Diego's, which Diego, again, adds this entire perspective and what really much it looks like. When we're facing the end of the world, how is this going to look to us as human beings? And again, I was just truly stunned. I loved what they were able to do with that. And again, it's hard to talk without spoilers, but God, it gets me emotional watching this damn show. The show makes me cry like every season. It's also weaved in with incredible directing, writing, and specifically the soundtrack of this. The soundtrack for this season is probably my favorite of the entire show so far, and they really just weave it perfectly together to intersect more emotion into each scene that really needs it. The thing that I really did love about this season was the way that it adds a new little tidbit here and there to each and every episode for you to kind of follow this breadcrumb of what is going to be going on, how can they fix this, and how can they solve this, and where are they going to be taking this story. And that's what I love. It always adds a puzzle piece to the missing puzzle that you are completing as the entire season is coming together, and by the time the season ends, you go, God, I need season 4 right now, because the season ends in a way where you're like, with that ending, I need it now. That's what makes Umbrella Academy season 3 so special. It is a perfect show because it knows what it needs to do. It builds a story that is absolutely intriguing and one that you want to follow along, but it dives in with characters that you absolutely love. New or old, you're going to find someone new to latch onto, and you're going to love a storyline, and then maybe you're not going to like a storyline until later down the road, but you truly keep diving in. I can't express enough how much I love this show and how perfect I think this season is. Is it my favorite season so far? Because I do think the entire show is perfect. This is one of my favorite shows to come in and binge and watch and just absolutely fall in love with. I'm going to say it's close, but I think season 2 is still my favorite. But absolutely, if you love Umbrella Academy, you are going to love this season. It has everything you know and all the characters you know, but you still love them, and you love them even more after this season. So, with all that said, the only con I did have for the season is there's one little plot line, like, earlier on, where I get it, the characters, they're a family, sometimes they don't communicate with each other, but there's, like, one specific MacGuffin, and they just don't talk about it. Like, 2 characters know where it's at. These other characters are like, well, they got to have it. They have to have it. And I thought that was kind of stupid. That's just truly my opinion. But, like, that's such a minor con that might bother some people. But I just kind of looked at it as like, okay, well, they're just a family that bickers. But honestly, again, I can't wait to rewatch this season. I love this show so much. And it's absolutely one of my favorite shows going on right now. So with all that said, I'm going to give Umbrella Academy Season 3 an A+. Another season that I just think is perfect. I just love this show so much, and I'm sure a lot of you guys do as well. So make sure to leave your thoughts and comments down below. Who's your favorite character? Hit that like and subscribe button, and look forward to a ton of other reviews coming up very soon. But of course, until next time, stay classy.